We're
Anyway,
having a,
I was using the one that was in email from 2 days ago and it wasn't going anywhere.
huh, that's the one I used and that's the one I just forwarded to Wim.
Huh. Well, so Wim might be having the same problem I did because it really was not working.
Huh.
The one I sent, I pulled from the meeting agenda or the meeting list off the town website.
Okay, and I used the one that came in an email 2 days ago. That is a typical Zoom link, but yeah.
Then did
Okay.
you use the one that I sent to you, Arlene?
Yes, just now, the one that finally worked was the one that you just sent. Yeah, which was
Okay.
from some cloud something or other source.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see if I have one.
And
So
do you not have Wim's email, Garrett, to send that to him?
I have him. I'm gonna send it now.
Okay, because he's not on and I sent it to him. Are you home, Arlene?
I am. I got home
Oh.
Friday.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
How's Susan?
She's fine. She's, just can't put any weight on her leg for another 3 weeks.
Oh, geez.
She has to crutch everywhere. I swear, this ACL thing is the state injury of Colorado.
Yeah, for skiers, it's a very typical. Well, and I think it happens a lot to female lacrosse players.
Oh, is that right?
Young
Sure.
young women particularly tear their ACL a lot.
Yeah. I think I saw my share of that at Mount Holyoke.
I bet you did.
The athletic trainers dealt with most of it among the athletes. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There's Wim.
Yep. I'm going to rename Wim, Garrett, so he won't just be a number.
Garrett, we have your number.
Okay, and we are recording, and this is the meeting of what? July 12th, 2023, and the whole board is here, and I think, and what? Let's approve the minutes from the last meeting. Any suggested changes or additions?
No, they look good.
Yep, me too.
Hearing none, we will accept the minutes. We don't have a lot to do tonight that I know of. I wonder if there are updates on things like MAFCO. Noreen, did you find anything out about our training requirements?
I did not, because the collaborative has not met since then. So no, but we are meeting tomorrow with regard to MAFCO. I'll see who shows up. And let me just make a note to do that.
So you say the collaborative is meeting tomorrow, not MAFCO, or?
The collaborative is meeting to talk about the implications for MAFCO on the collaborative, and particularly with regard to the principles of operation.
I see. Okay, so
so Jen and Megan may in fact be there.
Okay, yeah, the question that was out there from last meeting was, what are the training requirements that are specifically for us as a member of the collaborative? Because the things that I'm getting from Claudia seem fairly onerous, and I haven't heard anything about them from the collaborative, so I don't know what the requirements are for us.
Yeah, okay.
Did I send the link for that last time?
I don't think so.
Shoot, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Local Public Health Institute or something like that.
Okay, so I may see Jen and Megan tomorrow. If I do, I'll bring that up.
Okay.
So what has been happening with MAFCO? MAFCO, again, is the Mohawk Area Public Health Coalition. It's the end of the fiscal year. The state has put in place for this fiscal year some additional requirements for all vendors. whether they're contractual like Garrett is, or whether they're an employee of what was called a host agency. And the host agency was FERCog. I'm assuming everybody knows what FERCog is, right? Okay.
Franklin Regional Council of Governments, yeah.
Right. So our Franklin County Regional Council of Governments does not have a contract, a signed contract yet with the state to carry on public health emergency preparedness planning for this fiscal year. What the state is requiring is that all the steering committee for MAFCO sign a letter, endorse a letter saying that they support FERCog being the host agency for FEP, and that the MAFCO supports Dan Nietzsche as the planner. Now, they sent a template out to everybody to sign. MAFCO thought they had completed the template and attempted to talk to members of the steering committee about signing the letter on Monday. And lo and behold, the state said to FERCog that the letter did not meet the standard requirements that they had asked for. And the things that were missing were a scope of work, which essentially outlines the tasks that the planner would be performing for this upcoming fiscal year, and a job description. So FERCog now has till the end of the month to get that job description and that scope of work together and get it to the state. So they're working fast and furiously to do that. That has to go through the steering committee and be approved. And then the steering committee co-chairs would need to sign that document. And only then will we have a contract to move forward with planning for this fiscal year. I neglected to say that I was elected co-chair again. I think you all know Carolyn Shores Ness was not elected, or she had two people were running for her from her EDS, that's emergency dispensing site, and she chose to withdraw from running. I won't go into what happened around that, but anyway, she is no longer on the steering committee. The representative from her EDS name is Michael Archibald. He is from Whately, I believe. Anyways, in their EDS. And he represents Foothills Community Health Center. He's a public health nurse over there. So Michael and I are co-chairs, which we're happy about. Our collaborative worked together and asked Michael if he would take on that role, and he said he would. He's been on the board of Foothills and he's done some other kinds of things. So Michael and I are co-chairs. And right now we're all focusing on trying to ensure we have a contract for this upcoming fiscal year and getting that signed and ready to go. So, but we have to review these other two things, like the scope of work. And the scope of work, of course, goes hand in hand with the work plan and the deliverables that we've been working on with FERCog for this upcoming fiscal year. So that's basically what's going on. The reason we're meeting with the collaborative tomorrow, we are being collaborative members, and on our collaborative, we have four steering committee members for FEP on our collaborative. So we can have a fairly good influence in terms of how policy unfolds. And the collaborative really wants to take a look at the principles of operation, which are like the bylaws for how the steering committee and the coalition operates. And so once we get a contract and we know we're going to do some work this year, the next thing we'll be doing in August is taking a look at those principles of operation in detail and looking at how any changes might impact how we do public FEP planning for the upcoming year and how decisions are made. So I'll just stop. That's a lot. If there
Wow.
are any questions, yeah, there's a lot going on. Garrett, do you have any comments or questions? Or I know you have said a similar kind of request has been made to other regions in the state.
Yeah, I guess I'm just a little surprised that they're surprised by these requests. I mean, it's pretty standard to have a scope of work and a job, or a resume for the person who's going to do the work as part of a contracting process. So I'm a little surprised that they're taken aback by that, but.
Yes, so am I. I don't know what's going on. I know the state, a number of people from the state are spending a lot of time consulting with FERCog staff and trying to, I'm going to use the word mentor them or help them get through this process and, improve, I'll use the term improve their performance and so forth. And they've also been meeting with the co-chairs to try and make sure everybody's on the same page. And most recently today, I had a representative from the state, Gail Bienvenue, who is our local regional representative, asked me if the entire steering committee could meet with representatives from the state on Monday. So I do not know what's going on.
But FERCog is the only organization that can fulfill that role. Is there an alternate?
That's a great question, Wim. And we have looked at that and thought about that. We, meaning, I think the collaborative that we're a part of with Greenfield and Montague and Deerfield. And I think there's some feeling that maybe at some point the collaborative might be able to take on that role, but we've got enough going on in the collaborative this year. It's just our first anniversary, and we want to make sure we're doing a good job with what we're doing before we take on anything else.
Absolutely.
Wow, first anniversary already. Wow.
Well, August,
Okay.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
It seems amazing that they hired this Dan Nietzsche and they didn't have a job description for the job he was meant to do. I mean, how did that work?
It's one of the things, it's a really, really long story, Kat, and I'm happy to tell you the long story sometime. But
Some other time, yeah.
Dan left, he went to GCC, he came back. The steering committee was supposed to have input into who got hired. We didn't get hired. He was hired in the fall. We didn't even know he was our FEP planner until March. So that's the beginning of the story.
I see.
So, and they didn't meet with us for all those months, and he was our health planner, and we didn't know it. We didn't have regular meetings. So it's part of why I think there's been some attempt on the part of the state to make sure there's more of an understanding of what the FEP planner's role is in this region, what the scope of work is, and that it in fact gets done and tracked on a regular basis. Because the steering committee was attempting to do that, without a whole lot of support and getting a lot of kind of pushback when we tried to do it. So that's the short of it, Kat.
Gosh. Okay, well, thank you. Let's see, what else can we be updated on? I can tell you that Sarah, whatchamacallit, Fisk said, thank you. She set up her little desk and her area and put out some handouts and things. She put some stuff up on that little. There's a little bookshelf outside the police station where they have things to give away. She put some COVID tests and some other stuff up there. But I haven't talked to her since. I just noticed that she had done this. So I don't know if she's had anybody come to see her or what.
Well, has meet and greet been set up? Anything worked out with Marianne or?
No, Marianne was away until the 4th of July on vacation.
I know, yeah.
And since then, I just have not been able to think about that.
Okay, if there's something you would like me to do to communicate with Marianne, I'd be happy to do that. I bet your plate is fuller than mine.
Can we think about what this might look like? I mean, would it be something during her office hours, Monday 9 to 1? Maybe have some, coffee and donuts or something that people can come in that would entice them to come in and meet her.
Mhm.
Maybe something just small like that.
Sure. Anyone else have any different ideas? Or
Maybe something more at the library so that, or maybe even, I guess the library isn't open during
tell me
those
her,
hours, but
what are her hours again? Can you restate those, Kent?
Monday 9 to 1.
Okay, yeah,
so those
don't-
aren't library hours, I
don't
don't believe.
think they are. I'll look the
The
library. hours
library
up right
opens
now.
at 10 on Monday, or 11 at Monday, on Monday.
Oh,
And
okay.
Stays
11
open
11
till,
to 1.
well, so there's some overlap there.
Right.
Yeah,
Maybe
Right.
she could even get on the library schedule as a presenter sometime. Don't they have, they have ukulele lessons and book groups, and maybe Sarah could,
Yes,
You know,
yes,
be set
yes.
up to go
That's
in.
a really
Yeah.
good idea.
mm-hmm.
And the other thing I'm wondering, and I know it's hard to get a hold of Kristen too, if Kristen is at all keeping her busy or has been able to, work with her in terms of families or individuals who are in need that she's aware of in town. So maybe a quick check-in with Kristen by someone, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that maybe we should ask Sarah to just briefly report to us.
Yeah, okay.
Just
Yeah.
tell us, I came here and I sat from 9 to 1 and I didn't see a soul,
Yeah.
or Kristen came to talk to me, or I took somebody's blood pressure, or just whatever.
And
Yeah.
again, in that same spirit of letting Sarah kind of drive this, we could check with her about what sort of message she would like to put out and what format for a meet and greet might work, and go with what feels comfortable to her and what she thinks might be most productive,
Mhm.
and coordinate that with Marianne and Kristen or anyone else.
Right.
Okay.
If we want to have a big thing, we want to get Marianne in on it because she's really good at assembling a lot of people. But if we just want to have a
Mhm.
quiet thing, we don't need to have it tied in with the library particularly.
Sure.
Marianne
Right.
was away when all this happened, but I filled her in and told her that we would,
Mhm.
that her role would be basically information and referral. She could send people over and say, well, you can get that done across the street from 9 to 1 on Monday.
Mhm.
Yep.
So it might be that that's really all we need her for. Well, Arlene, do you want to reach out to Sarah and kind of and pose those questions that you just mentioned?
Yeah, I'll draft a set of questions and run it by you. I'll run it
Okay.
by everyone if everyone would like to see them, and get it off to her sometime tomorrow. Okay.
Great. Super.
I'll circulate it to everybody, and you all can ignore it if you don't have input. But yeah. I'll run it
Another
by
thing that
everyone.
occurs to me is she may already know, but I think it's really important that Grace knows that Sarah is there, because a lot of people go and touch base with Grace.
Grace
And
knows.
she does, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
right. Weren't you there? We took her around. Maybe you weren't. We took her around
I
and
was, no, I
and
was, but I
introduced
just,
her to everybody.
I was, but just to make sure Grace knows it's every Monday, wouldn't
Mhm.
hurt to. Because Grace has a lot of people knocking on her door and coming through that,
Right.
that say hello or maybe
Right.
express some need that they have.
We could put a sign up near the front of the building
Mhm.
so that people who come in would see it, and it could just say, do you know that we have a public health nurse now, and here's her hours and here's where she is.
Yeah.
You can do these things.
And is there a database? Because this is not the first public health nurse who's ever been to Shutesbury. Do you think that there's a caseload somewhere?
Wim, it's not, it is almost true that she's the first public health nurse to ever come to Shutesbury. We had one years and years and years ago for a few months, and she quit coming. We just ended it because nobody ever came to see her. So no, there isn't anything like a caseload or, file of people who used to do this. This is pretty much a new thing.
I wonder if it's worth letting the community health center in Greenfield know that there are services available, because I'm pretty sure, I worked there for 6 years. There were a lot of patients from Shutesbury. And that might be a great way. And I'm happy to get in touch with the community health center and let them know
That would be a great idea.
about the hours.
Yeah, that would
Yeah,
be
that's
a
a great
good way to
idea.
do a little outreach.
And maybe the same, there's one in Orange as well, Wim, so maybe that one as well. People might go down there too.
Satellite of the CHCFC.
Oh, it is. Okay, good. All
Okay.
right. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'll do that. Monday, 9 to 1.
Correct. And also basically by appointment, because she said she would basically start out by just being in the senior lounge, which is where she's got her desk set up. But as time went on and she got to know people and people wanted to consult her, she might do some of it by phone, she might do some of it by appointment. But nominally, it's 9 to 1, and it will be until further notice, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, these are good ideas. Any more
Yeah.
on that? Yes.
No, I just wanted to say thank you for bringing that up, Kat. That's important.
Right. Yeah. I feel bad. I didn't go to see her on either one of those days. I had offered to help her on July 3rd, but she said she didn't need any help, so I didn't go. And then I kind of forgot about her. But there it is.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stop in next Monday and say hi.
Great.
Good.
That's a good
Great.
idea.
Yep.
I think I will too. Good idea.
Right. Tell all your friends.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we need to talk about or catch up on tonight? One thing we need to talk about ultimately is when to have our next meeting. But go ahead, Noreen.
Just a quick request of Garrett, who may be super busy, but if you have any chance to look at the principles of operation for the steering committee, Garrett, and have any input. I've been going through them today and trying to think about things that need to be changed and why, and why it's important to think about those particular areas. I welcome the input.
And that was circulated. I apologize. Maybe it came across my email.
They were circulated when you sent your principles of operation from one of the regions you work with that same day.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah, I'll look through that. And
if not, I can forward them to you again, Garrett. And that's
Yeah, and
basically what we've got a group of the collaborative, as I said, many of whom are members of the steering committee, who are going to start looking at that. And then there's a subcommittee to study it beginning in August, assuming we have a planner.
and I should be able to be on the meeting tomorrow.
Oh, okay, great. Good.
These principles of operation, that's not something that was circulated to the whole board, right?
No. It's just, when I say board, I mean the steering committee of.
Right,
NAPCO.
yeah.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't sent to all of us and that we weren't expected to weigh in on it.
No, I think it was my backup on MAPCO, and given his expertise in the eastern part of the state, I value his input. Not
For
that I
sure.
don't value everybody's input, I do.
Right. Garrett has special competence and we appreciate that.
He does.
I don't think we have anything else that we really need to talk about. Except
Yay.
the next meeting.
Did-
Given
all behave while I was gone?
Did we all behave?
The beaver.
No,
Oh, the
definitely
beaver.
not. Oh,
They,
the
to
beavers.
the best of my knowledge, a couple of weeks ago, both the beaver dams that we're concerned about were removed.
Oh, good.
However, I haven't gone to personally check, but I probably would have heard about it if not. So, so I think we might be good on that for a while. Noreen, have you gone past, over Fisk Brook? Did you happen to notice if the water is flowing again?
I haven't. I rode
Mhm.
my bike up by McElvee's today and everything seemed to be okay.
Mhm.
But I haven't, the culvert at Fisk Brook is what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I haven't looked in there, but I'm gonna walk tomorrow, so I'll check it out.
Yeah, yeah, there got to be, all of a sudden, there got to be sort of a window when Mike Callahan was available and Tim was free and Concom was willing, and I wrote some orders. And
Good.
it was supposed to happen like 2 days from then, but I haven't heard anything. And this was, 3 weeks ago, probably.
Okay, well, that means they've built it up again, probably.
Oh, God. Well, in the order that I wrote for Tim for Fisk Brook, I put what we had talked about, that he was to remove the beaver dam and keep the culvert open. And I checked with Tim to make sure that that was something that would work for him, and it did. So presumably, every time they put a few sticks in, he'll go take them out.
Yeah, I think that's good, and I think it's really important, given all the water we're having this year, that remains
Mm.
open.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
needs to stay open. And it needs to stay
Yeah.
open just anyway. And on
Yeah.
the downstream
Yeah.
side, of that culvert, the retaining wall there is not in very good shape.
I didn't know that.
You've probably noticed where some trap rock gravel has been, or some trap rock, I guess, has been put on the downstream side up at the road level. Because I know that a few of the stones have come out up there.
Well, that's a good thing to use, if we need to with the Concom, because the other thing is the fire hydrant that's used to fill the tanker or fill any, water in case there's a fire at the lake is at that point also.
Yeah,
So,
right.
Okay.
So I am thinking that since we don't really seem to have any business going on, that maybe we can just not meet again until the first week in August. Unless some emergency comes up, in which case we can always, call another meeting. Does that seem good to you guys?
yes.
Okay with me. I'm around. Yep.
Okay.
Yes, that works for me too.
Okay.
Wim, I'm gonna want to hear about your bike ride.
Yes,
That is a must
ditto.
do.
Yeah.
Gonna want to hear all about it. So I don't want to leave the topic of a party forgotten. Yeah.
How
So-
can we try and schedule that? That always seems so daunting.
I know. Since we're not meeting on the next or 2 Wednesdays from now, maybe we make it a gathering night. I don't know. That would work for me, but
The 26th
the 26th instead of a meeting.
looks
Make
good to
it a-
me.
That sounds like a great
Make it
idea.
an in-person party. No, a sort of party.
I'm
I'd be happy to have it here, but our outdoor fire pit space is full of bugs, mosquitoes, abound, but we have some indoor space too. So,
Or
Anyway.
we can have it on our deck too, and the bugs aren't as bad. I know the bugs in the woods are bad, but it doesn't,
the bugs in the woods
I'm
are bad.
I'm happy
Yeah.
to go anywhere. The bugs are bad.
Yeah.
So,
We could also at that cabin I renovated at Patsy.
oh yeah.
Oh,
that's nice.
Patsy's,
Yeah.
right,
It's really nice,
right.
but
It's
we'd
really
have
nice.
in the daytime because there's still no electricity.
Okay, those
Okay.
are great options. Yeah.
Yeah, great option. How are the bugs?
Well, we'd have to be indoors. There's a
Yeah.
deck.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's buggy like everywhere, but we could go inside.
Or maybe we could have a fire.
There's no fire pit. We could
Okay.
figure something out. I got a lot of wood.
I'm for that.
Well, I'll let you three fight it out.
No,
Okay.
I vote for Wims, or, sorry. I'd like to see Patsy's.
Yeah, yeah. you
Nice.
would.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Yeah. We could all
Okay.
bring something to contribute and yeah, just kind of catch up and do no BOH business, but all social stuff. That'd be
Right.
nice.
7:26, what time do you think?
Well, you
Well-
said it has to be in daylight. What time works for you?
I'm available. It's not a
Wow.
problem.
Okay. And Garrett, I know I defer to the people with day jobs.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I defer to the people with day jobs.
Oh, yeah. Typically, July is pretty easy for me. So,
Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
So what time would be a good time to convene? Say 4 o'clock, or do we want it to be a real afternoon thing?
4 would be good, and we could have some snacks and a beer and
Yep.
show you around there.
Good. Very nice.
Right, so we wouldn't do a whole meal. We would just have a sort of afternoon drink.
A happy hour.
Yeah. I love it.
That sounds great. Does
Okay.
everyone know where it is?
I know where Patsy's is.
What's the house number again, Wim?
It's 855, I think. I don't know.
It's just south of Helen Ann and Graham Sefton's, if anyone knows them.
Yeah.
There's
I
Just
thought it
left
was
the house
maybe
with that.
585.
585. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I think so too. I went there, with the mosquito guy.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And you probably have seen that he put some kind of mosquito trap up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't notice.
Well, it's up there somewhere. And he also pointed out that you're going to get Culex mosquitoes in that bucket under the pump.
Today I changed the water in there.
Oh, good.
All right.
The other thing, Wim, if it's not too buggy, I think Kat had expressed to me an interest in taking that walk up the side of the wetlands up there. I don't think she's ever been all the way back up, and that's a really lovely walk. I enjoy that all the time.
Is that on Julian's property that you're
No.
talking about? No, somewhere else.
No.
Okay.
No,
Footage land.
Yeah.
Footings. Okay.
Oh,
All right.
but it's really lovely. If you hadn't, I lived here a long time before I knew that was back there. And
okay.
it was particularly beautiful during the Laurel.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
gorgeous.
The
Yeah,
Laurel this year was something else.
never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
yeah.
the banner year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And am I right that significant others are welcome to this gathering? It's not just the five of us, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Garrett's mom is invited too.
Absolutely. All of those who are board health
Board of Health.
or board health.
Who else is Board of Health?
Why?
Well, it only took 30 years, Kat.
Right.
Right? That's great.
Great.
What? Oh.
Yeah, that's great. Maybe and so I'll bring some snack thing and
Me too.
Yeah, we'll all bring
Why don't-
snacks.
Why don't we fix it so that we all bring drinks for ourselves and our party, and that way nobody has to cope with that. Bring a couple of beers or a bottle of wine or whatever.
And and bring the snacks to share.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
snacks to share, and as far as the drinks go, pretty much cover your own. But if people want to share, that's
yeah, and I'll have
Sounds good.
cooler with ice in it there.
All
Perfect.
right.
Yeah, good.
Perfect. I
And
like
so
this. It sounds really low stress.
And
Yeah,
make sure, because there will be no Wi-Fi down there, so make sure to bring pictures or whatever you have about your bike trip, Wim, because I really want to know about it. Even if it's
Right.
just from your head, you know.
Yep. It might be from my head. Pictures that are not my specialty.
Okay, from your head is good for me. Yeah. Yeah.
sounds
Okay.
great.
Good. See you then.
Okay,
Okay.
see you all then.
Okay, sounds good.
Good night.
Good night,
Night.
all.
Bye.
Be well.
Bye.